During the height of the Cold War, there was an issue within the Russian military where they noticed that due to the environment, the stressful situations, their soldiers were aging at an accelerated rate compared to average. This was obviously a massive issue, and so they spent millions and millions of dollars to finding ways to navigate this. They hired a professor, Vladimir Kivitz, who used this money and investigated different organ systems, and he found that there was a biological reserve of peptides within every organ, and it led him to the creation of bioregulators, which are derived from animal organs. And this has been in production use with scientific studies validating its efficacy since the 80s, for example. Bioregulators are essentially chains of amino acids that activate DNA for protein synthesis within your different organ systems. It's been shown to increase lifespan and health span in animal studies as well as people studies. Peptides are definitely the way that everything's going to go for the next 5 to 10 years. And we don't really hear about it very much in the Western side of the world, just simply from the fact that it comes from Russia, but there's still Cold War tensions, especially with medical advances, medication, anything like that. And so some interesting studies around bioregulators, because I understand where you're coming from. It might seem a little bit odd or whatever. So there was a study with elderly patients taking a bioregulator of thymus and the pineal gland, and they had 4 times lower mortality than the control. And then there was a study with penilin that was shown to increase the intellectual capacity of wrestlers, where obviously if you wrestle, your brain's a little bit smaller than average. Like, sorry, but no, I'm kidding. Honestly, if you have a health issue that you've been trying to fix, but it's just not going that way for whatever reason, it could be something to look into. And that's what brought me to it, because ultimately I noticed that I would go to bed at night and then I would just wake up way too much during the night to pee. And that was kind of annoying. And at first I was like, whatever, like not a big deal. But then I thought about it. Then if like I'm always say I wake up 3-4 times a night to go pee, that's like disrupting my sleep consistently, taking me out of deep sleep, REM sleep, whatever it may be. Obviously not ideal. If you look at any longevity expert, they always say sleep is the cornerstone that all the other blocks of health are kind of built on top of. And so I thought to myself, I was like, okay, if I can fix this, it's definitely worth a shot. And so I invested in this bioregulator, where before I was trying a bunch of different stuff. I was trying herbal extracts, minerals, other drugs, little weird mechanism of action compounds, and to some success, but not complete success. And so I really wanted this to bridge the gap and kind of get me to the target, which is like waking up to pee in the middle of the night like 1 to 2 times. And so that was the goal. And so I took it for around a month, around 2 capsules before bed. And honestly, I didn't really notice much at first, but I think that's kind of the tale with these compounds, where the effects slowly build up over time, as a lot of them have regenerative properties. And so that causes time to build up. So around like week 1, week 2, didn't really notice much. Still waking up like 3-4 times a night to go pee. But around week 3 and week 4, I definitely noticed that I started to wake up a little bit less. It definitely was beneficial in that aspect for me. Obviously, N of 1, so like attack me in the comments if you want. This is just my experience. But I definitely did notice that like positive effect from it, where I just started to wake up a little bit less to pee in the middle of the night. And if you want to put numbers to that, that's almost like a 50% improvement, a 33 to 50% improvement. So definitely worth it. Obviously, your prostate size really determines how much you wake up or how much of a urinary stockpile you have before you have to go. And there's been other bioregulators that I've tried before. I tried this solution of essentially like a lung peptide bioregulator. And honestly, like I've tried so many things for asthma, because I play soccer, and it's the one thing that holds me back from being a really, really good player is my stamina, where I'm only good for like 20-ish minutes, and then I kind of just like fall out after that. And so I really wanted to find an answer and a solution to that. And it made a very dramatic difference. Like surprisingly to me, I could just breathe so much clearer just naturally. And it was a sublingual solution. So I think that's really the cause of a lot of these bioregulators, in that the delivery method isn't always optimal, where if you can get them and you can take it sublingually, take it intramuscularly, take it nasally, you're just gonna have stronger effects, because that's a stronger administration method. So if you take it, you notice not really any effects in that way, you could just kind of ramp up the delivery mechanism and it can give you stronger effects. And like for an example of this, like vitamin B12 and ginseng, common supplements, vitamins that you see in a lot of supplement formulations. But if you take it in a nasal spray, this is a verified medication that can induce neurogenesis very powerfully in the brain. So the delivery method definitely makes a difference. And just because I spent a lot of time researching nighttime nocturia, essentially waking up to pee in the middle of the night, there's a lot of different things that can work if you notice that this is you. Obviously, don't drink too much before bed, like water, juice, whatever it may be. And don't take cholinergic substances before bed if you're waking up to pee too much, as anticholinergics are commonly prescribed for BPH and Nocturia, because the choline system is very important for like the urinary system as like top-down control. So don't do that. Don't do those two things. It can be a little bit tricky, as a lot of sleep supplements also have the function of being an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, such as Guto Cola, such as lemon balm extract, such as Bacopa monnieri. So it is a little bit testy, but that's only if you notice that effect, that you take that and you wake up to pee a little bit more. Probably stop taking that. Therefore, another solution to this as well is to take an antihistamine, like a second to third generation, that also has anticholinergic action to help relieve symptoms. Cyproheptine is something that's commonly talked about as like a good antihistamine for that. But some other supplements you can take is baking soda to neutralize acid. You take glycine 3 grams to improve urology symptoms. You want to increase vasopressin, which is also known as antidiuretic hormone. So that essentially controls the urinary function, whether to relax or activate it. It kind of like the on-off switch. So a few things that you can do to increase it is adequate vitamin C. 1 to 2 grams is great. Zinc. Zinc glycinate is really cheap and effective form, as well as proper salt intake. I think there's probably been a little bit of a lie with salt intake worldwide. Usually more is better. Obviously depends on you, but salt a lot of times can lower blood pressure, not increase it. As well as you can take PDE5 inhibitors, which will just increase blood flow to the prostate, therefore relaxing it. So there's the herbal ones, such as black ginger, such as horny goat weed, as well as there is the synthetic ones of Cialis, Viagra, all of that. So there's a few options there. Realistically, it's better to start with the herbal vitamin stuff, because those are good for other things, such as glycine, vitamin C, zinc, adequate salt intake, baking soda as well, as those are all very cheap, very effective for a lot of different things, multi-plural effects. If you want to find out the best nootropics that I've found from the best company in the world, obviously super biased, after spending $10,000 on their products over the years, check out this video on the 7 best nootropics from Nootropics Depot.